Hello everybody and welcome back to the MUNDUM status campaign. We are here as the glorious international. I'd say things are going pretty well. We recently won a big war against England, fed Scotland a whole bunch. Got us a lot of Diplo power, but that's good. That's the way of a world conquest. So I've been thinking about idea groups. I dreamt about idea groups in this freaking campaign actually, believe it or not. And we could do, kind of, with influence ideas. Because a Diplo rep is great for vassal loyalty and vassal integration. And once we have the HRE, non-HRE vassals going to be a real problem. Actually, I should ask Lambert about the code he wrote for that. So Lambert played a game as Austria recently. Lambert, by the way, Lambert2191, by the way, is another Meiou and Taxes YouTuber who you should check out if you're feeling starved for Meiou and Taxes content. Personally, I'm a big fan of him. He's a nice guy. I don't have time to watch many of his videos, but thousands do, so I'm sure they're quite good, so you can check them out if you want. He was playing as Austria, and when you have the vassal swarm, as you know, vassals calculate their liberty desire, or rather their, is it called liberty desire? Yes, it is. Partly based on the strength of other vassals, right? And when you have the whole HRE as a vassal, that's a bit problematic. But, when you form the HRE, members of the HRE stop calculating liberty desire based on relative power of vassals. Right? They don't care about the relative power of vassals. So, if you have the big vassal swarm and they're all fine, and then you vassalized this place, they would suddenly be like massively desirous for liberty, because the HRE was so huge. Now there are a couple of options of how we could fix that. Either we try and fix it in game by just getting crazy high Diplo rep and liberty desire reducing things, or we could just make it so that no vassals have liberty desire based on being very large. The problem with the second one, which is what Lambert did, is if we're doing a world conquest and we have like an African vassal, it's not very realistic that they'd be loyal even though they're freaking huge. So I think we can't really use that solution. So we may want to take lots of Diplo ideas so that we can still vassal feed as we conquer out into the world, because we'll want to vassal feed, which is going to make things tricky. We'll have to experiment with that. But yeah, influence gives you unjustified demands down, which will save us so much Diplo points across the course of this run. But I kind of feel like we have to start taking... our piety is low. It's only at... what is that? 30% right now? I'd really like that to be higher. So I might take popular religion. Popular religion because it has national unrest down, which I really like. Plus the art power is nice. Infinite prestige is nice. So I'm very tempted to take popular religion. The national unrest, we had some issues, they were all off camera, but we had some issues with national unrest recently. When our legitimacy gets a bit low, because of how high our centralization and innovativeness are, plus our culture, we get some issues with the internal conflicts disaster. Thing about shifting cultures, I was considering shifting culture. I wanted to switch to Provençal culture because it has the authoritarian family type, but you essentially in Meiou and Taxes cannot culture shift because you have to make it the majority in your stated provinces, and you can't unstate provinces because they're all irrevocably controlled by an estate, and you can't revoke states when they belong to an estate. So that's a bit of an issue, but that's fine. We'll stay Lombard. Lombard has some we can't actually see it here anymore. Oh no, we can, because I didn't switch them. It's pretty good. Years of nationalism down is nice. The absolutism's nice, but the global unrest is kind of sucky. We haven't accepted any cultures yet, mostly because everywhere is just accepted culture anyway. We may well want to accept Neapolitan though, because Neapolitan is a huge culture down here to the south. Okay, let's get back into it. We're going to crush Aragon. They, of course, lost their personal union over Castile, as would be expected in a independence war. So we're going to swoop in here and grab lots of their coast to help with trade. That's right, there was a horrendous amount of plague. We're just going to come over here and grab some of this land for trade purposes. We're already pulling out the vast majority of the wealth, but I would like to stop some of it going towards France, etc. So, glorious. Let's get to that. Another stability loss from the plague. God damn it. Apparently it's killed, I think it was 15% of the population is dead so far. There goes another stability, -1. You remember what I was saying about internal conflicts? Hey, here comes some internal conflicts. Alright, time to give gifts to get stability points, even if it puts us into debt, I think. My lord. Oh god. The estates think they're getting weaker because there's a plague. So they all hate me. -14, -14, -12, because they're losing influence and wealth because of the freaking plague. That doesn't seem fair. Here, have your gifts, you bastards. This plague is so bad. On the bright side, this plague does mean that we can take a lot more land in this than normal, because the urban development, sorry, the rural development's probably dropped, while the population's all died. So, we're going to take a sizable chunk here, I think. As long as Castile doesn't join the coalition, I'm happy. France and England, bah, we can handle them. As long as we declare war when the truces end. Is that full annexation? Yeah, full annexation of Aragon, please. For only 58 aggressive expansion. Oh, that does put Castile in. Alright, how about if I drop Zaragoza? There we go. No, oh, sorry, I didn't see Castile higher up in that list. We probably shouldn't get Castile in. Okay, fine. How about that? Castile's still just in. How about this? Alright, we don't want it. Well, we probably shouldn't take these mountains. Communication efficiency into there is going to be really tough. Fine, how about this? Alright, the original peace deal, my lord. We'll take trade power, war reps, any cash you're willing to give us on top of that. That'll do. Boom. Yoink. We do not want to marry them. To solidify the peace, that won't be necessary. The conversions in Greece, by the way, continue apace. We've got a nice little Catholic stronghold down there now. We're at war with Hungary because they annexed some imperial land and they were not willing to give it up to unlawful territory, the fools. So we're going to punish them for that and at the same time conquer Friuli. Okay, here it is, the mission chain. We've taken Friuli. Restore the March of Friuli. Production efficiency and attrition for enemies for 25 years. Subjugating Venice. Naval maintenance, diplotech cost. We should probably wait on that one. Oh, that's unfortunate. We should wait. What would we be able to get if we didn't wait? This and years of separatism. Yeah, we should wait before we take this. And then only take it when we're about to take a diplotech. So we can use it for the maximum number of diplomatic technologies. That's unfortunate, but that is sensible. Alright, we'll wait on the Milanese one. But we now can activate all of these whenever we want, which is glorious. Marvellous. Wait. Venice is the Curia sorry, Naples is the Curia controller. I just got the event about appointing new cardinals. Do you get the events if your subject is a Curia controller? That's so good. That would be a marvellous change. Maybe it's just PUs, but that's a really good change if so. Cool. There we go. Lovely. I've brought the princes around just in time. It was a close run thing. Not very long ago, there was a heavy majority against the next reform, but here we go. The Gemeine Pfennig requiring the states of the HRE to levy a special tax to be paid directly to the Emperor. 15% tax modifier. Let's see how much money we actually get out of this. We're making 29.77. Boom. No more imperial authority for me, which means we need to be careful about this vote. We still have 3 people solidly on side, though, so we should be okay. And our tax income goes up by 4 ducats. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'll take it. And, of course, as we expand, the more those modifiers on tax we can stack up, the better. No more internal peace in the HRE. Unfortunate. We had that a moment ago. What's the war that spoilt everything? A succession war over Landschlut. But Landschlut's not in the war. Unless that's the adjective for these guys. How strange. Very strange. That's the only one? There's also Conquest of Nassau, which I can't enforce peace on either. Oh well, we'll just have to deal with slightly lower build up. We have how many? So this is something I always try and keep track of. How many provinces do we have? We could add to the HRE right now. Once this is finished coring, we can consider that fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then these ones that you can't add. These ones up here. So we have 5 there. Any more? I think that's it. I think it's just those 5 that we have. So it's worth remembering. We won't add them now because, you know, we should add them when we get to 45 and have a majority. So we don't find ourselves wasting ticks of imperial authority gain above the cap. It's going to be a darn close run thing in terms of the Reformation. But I think we're going to manage to revoke the privilegia first. And I have no idea how the religious leagues work at that point. We will see. We will see. Hey, it's kind of hard to see, but we have created, we've done it. French France. That's how disunified this country is right now. Nice. Ha! Italy, Alice. You damn Castilians. Look at this fight. Naples was more than 2-1 outnumbered. And they won anyway. Italy, of course, being technologically advanced massively compared to the Iberians. We're just crushing England. Since you last saw the world, we did another war against France. Didn't take too much land because Castile was already just generally ticking along, you know, blobbing out in this region, moving towards the land freed, getting very close now. Exciting times. Okay, some big peace deals. We're going pretty aggro these days, so that looks good to me. It's going to get a coalition of not very many people. We're probably not going to be able to take that much from England this war because I'm being so aggressive here. But let's do it. Yoink! Thank you, Castile. Very nice. You lads can all return home. So England, from you, I mean, that's what I'd like to take, but the coalition would be just a little insane. So how about I just do a very limited peace deal against England? Maybe we just take Kent, Essex. How's that? They're still pretty peeved. I mean, we could probably take this. We could definitely take this, because lots of those are going to tick off before the truces end. Let's take this. Money, and we'll take trade power and war reps. And all that good stuff. And we can cancel some cores. Why not? Reduce the number of rebels we'll get in the future. Costs 50 Diplo, which is of course slowing down this freaking endless annexation of Naples, but that's okay. Yoink. Done. No marriage. Good. Marvellous. The New World Order. We need to worry about aggressive expansion a bit because it makes people vote against our reforms. We're going to need to core all this land before we can pass the next reform. Yeah, having said that, maybe we should give all this to a vassal. We could give it all to Toulouse. That's something I don't know. Let's find out. Can you give a vassal more than 100% overextension in M&T? And if not, I'm going to go and see if I can change it. Because you should be able to do that. It's ridiculous that you can't do that. You can do it in peace deals. Why can't you do it in peace? Okay, that's interesting. So the Dutch... I did send them some demands they refused recently. We formed a personal union with the 17 provinces. That's interesting. We also got excommunicated because I did so much looting down here. But now we got to go kill Holland. So it looks like the South stayed loyal as per history. I don't actually know if it stayed loyal or if it just stayed under firmer grip. But that should be fine. We'll go up and crush these guys. I wonder if they're currently sending out the normal message from the base game saying, like, please help us, ally us, so we can be free. But, yeah, we'll go up, crush them. We don't have cores. Do you have cores? He has claims. Oh, yeah. We got placed under interdict, so, like, all of our personal unions count as being under interdict as well. Is there a... This is just a conquest war? What? So I have to pay 89 aggressive expansion to get my land back. I mean... What happens if we wipe peace? Like, if I offer, do I have to offer them independence? No. That's really weird. Why am I paying aggressive expansion for land that I own? Excuse me? Owned? That's very strange. I'm hoping there's an event. Or maybe there's war dynamism. War dynamism would do it, because they did own this land previously. They should get war dynamism on it, so... But then subjects aren't supposed to get war dynamism, so we'll see. So, we've won this war, by the way, obviously, that was easy. I've looked into the event files. I can't find any event that, like, reintegrates them or anything. So, and also, it, weirdly enough, removed all the provinces from the HRE. So we can give them to this guy at exorbitant aggressive expansion. If we take them personally, is it the same amount of aggressive expansion? Yeah, so it's not even a freaking conquest war goal. Okay, no, it is. It's 75% aggressive expansion, so why isn't it cheaper? I don't know. Oh, it's for anyone to conquer them, not just for them to conquer them. So, I mean, I guess we just have to reconquer the Netherlands? And we can't do it now, because this will cause too much aggressive expansion by far. So I guess we just take a tiny bit now? Like a really, like none? That sucks. There is no event for us to just annex them back into us. I could cheat, but I don't want to. So I guess we have to fight the Netherlands again. Yay. At least this means these guys are now a normal personal union, so we're going to be able to integrate them in like 27 years. And we might inherit them. But that sucks. They should be the aggressor, and if they lose, you should reintegrate them. I mean, maybe we should just integrate them. Like, console integrate them, but I really don't want to cheat. So I guess, I mean, transfer trade power, give me all your money, release Cleves, because they're an HRE state. I guess while we're reintegrating it, we will release some of these nations as HRE nations. No, well, because they remove the area from the HRE. So just release Cleves. Problem is, Cleves and Friedland and stuff are all going to freaking join the Netherlands. Because they love freaking doing that. It's frustrating. Frustrating. Why don't we have cores? You own this land. This is your land. It's in the name. And the flag. Alright, well, there you go. I mean, we'll get some money out of it. Disappointing. Disappointing. But not the worst thing in the world. So don't make any allies. Because we're coming for you. Oh my freaking god. Okay. Autosave crash. But I'm pretty sure that war took longer than 6 months. So, just as it was about... It's been crashing like once every... I don't know... 30 minutes or something at the moment. And, I don't know if this is before or after the revolt. But just as it was autosaving, I was thinking, oh god, if it crashes this time, they're so going to accuse me of cheating. Well, I suspect it's after they already declared independence, this autosave. But if it's not a big deal, because they'll declare independence again in the future, so it wouldn't really make any difference. Oh good, there we go. They had already risen up by this point, so it's no problem. We can just do the same thing. There we go. Finally done it. Finally pulled the trigger. Capital is Liguria. It's quite a bit less developed, but it's on the coast, which will help out a great deal for our communication efficiency, especially to our new Iberian provinces and to our soon-to-be owned Roman provinces. Only 10 years before we can annex them, although we will have to get their liberty desire down rather a bit. We have quite a few, quite a few rebellious vassals right now. I've decided I'd rather have the trade power than tax in most cases, so I'm still just going with forcing them to give me trade power, siphoning income off these guys every so often as well. Hey Sweden, gimme, thank you. Good, with that we can pay our loan. Marvellous. We're struggling with unrest with this excommunication, but we should be getting a stability point soon. That'll help. The religious scandal is going to last... Where's the religious scandal? There it is. Another, oh god, 8 years. Yeah, we're having trouble. We're having trouble. Oh, thank god, okay. With a privilege granted to the greater nobles and some extra stuff from them, we have managed to get out of our internal conflicts. Still excommunicated, but that's one step better. I did grant them a privilege, so we get less manpower from the greater nobles now. But that's okay. The vast majority of our manpower doesn't come from our estates anyway, so that's not a big deal. This is an interesting event. The Justinian Code. So we're deciding whether or not we should have Roman law. And I'm going to do some... what's it called? Hang on a sec. That's it. Nashian calculations here. So how much... if we take the first one, we have... I don't really mind about losing the legitimacy. Oh, no, okay, never mind. I'm not going to bother. We can't lose the legitimacy, because that would put us back into whatchamacallit, range. The disaster. What the heck is it called? internal conflicts. So we're just going to say use the threat of it to wrest concessions at court. More legitimacy and some admin power at least. We'll just go for that one. Okay. Pope died. We are the Curia controller. Can I lift my excommunication now? No. That seems a little ridiculous. I really should be able to lift my excommunication. I am the Curia controller. Ah. That is unfortunate. At least the papal authority is not too high, so we don't have as strong an excommunication anymore. Oh, okay. Thank God. I think we're going to be able to get rid of our scandal here. Okay. Indulgence peddler. A travelling monk is passing through, auspiced by the church. A travelling monk is going to get rid of our freaking excommunication of the largest empire in Christendom. That seems plausible. Yeah, we'll gain some informed desire. But that's unfortunate. We purchased an indulgence for the king. We no longer have it, which means now we can request dispensation from the Pope. And we are the Curia controller, so shouldn't the event fire for us? Because if it fires for the Pope, they're going to say no. Because they hate us. And they're pretty much always going to hate us, because they have -200 for excommunication. So I guess if that doesn't work, we're going to abdicate in 5 years. I like the stats on my heir better anyway. Although I'm loving this tech cost. Yeah, we're trying to keep them here. Well, let's see what the Pope says. Okay, here we go. Boom. Naples has been annexed. Finally, Italy is united. Glorious. We also lost border on the Rhine, which is a shame. We're going to lose out on some imperial authority. But more importantly, Italy is here. I've been saving up states for this very thing. So Naples, Eastern Sicily. Haven't got enough for Western Sicily, which we'll definitely want to do. Bari as well is another nice state. We have this province, which is part of it, which is in a state, and I can't take it out of the state because obviously it belongs to an estate in its state. I could give it to Austria. We'd have to live with the fact that there'd always be a little bit of Austrian trade power in the Tyrrhenian, which would be a pain. So I think I'm going to try and lose it in a war. So this guy, he wants it. So how do we get to war with him? We go to war with probably Switzerland. Yeah, okay, so we go to war with Switzerland. They're a free city. I forgot. Go to war with these guys. Trade conflict. You can't take land. My lords, it's harder than it needs to be. Go to war with you? No. Go to war with Lüneburg? No. Okay, we fabricate a claim on this guy, declare war, surrender this province to him, then take it back and don't put it in a state. That should work. That is really overly complicated. Maybe I could just make it so you can remove things from states. Give me a sec. Alright, I've asked the team, so we'll see if they let me know whether that would be an easy fix to be able to revoke states even if there's a states holding the land. It's hard-coded, unfortunately. That's annoying. Oh well, we'll do my weird workaround. But with the annexation of Naples, this fort can go away. There we go. Look at that beautiful new land we've just acquired. The city of Naples, not the most developed in the world. Messina down here. Palermo. Palermo is the biggest city in this region. That's interesting. Looking pretty good. We should see a serious uptick in our income. Make sure we're not wildly over the force limit. We are wildly over the force limit. So you guys can get disbanded. How are we looking now? 1 over. I'm sure as the autonomy in this region ticks down, that will become manageable. Okay, marvelous. And in the next episode, probably Landfried and the HREOR is being inherited by the same country, which will be very nice. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time.